Camera, not yourself. Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Wanted to come on here really quick and let you guys know who is going to, the winner of the very first 15 Minutes of Fame challenge. It's my guy out of New Mexico, LuisG.
I'd wish we talked more often, but our lines don't really cross anymore. And no one tells you how to make friends when you've grown up. And I miss all the late nights we spent watching
15 Minutes of Fame. It's a concept I got from listening to a podcast. Just honestly being a little bit jealous of the fact that with somebody who's so famous that if they drop somebody's name just like that, that person can, their entire lives can be changed. Being a musician isn't about being famous. I just thought that concept was fascinating. A lot of the ideas, a lot of the concepts, they derive from things that I would have wanted when I was a younger independent artist. I knew it was time to do something different, something a little more tangible, something that people could look back months later and say, oh yeah, this happened. And that's where the idea for reviews came in. I have often joked that if there was a reward ceremony for 15 Minutes of Fame, the golden statue that people would receive upon winning a reward would be like a bust or, you know, a miniaturized version of LuisG. When I decided I was going to write reviews, there was only one person that was going to be my first review. I only created 15 Minutes of Fame. Luis, he's the first member.
Hey, my name is Luis. I also go as LuisG on streaming platforms and the LG Music on social media. I am a singer-songwriter, independent artist, as well as I am been a Twitch streamer. But today I want to talk a little bit about the 50 Minutes of Fame. First of all, platforms and shows like the 15 Minutes of Fame are super important for independent artists, because a lot of us don't have the resources. We don't have, the management team that some of the other big artists have. I don't have a team. The team is literally me and my wife. She, supports me emotionally and with, however she can. But, it's me. I do it all. I do all of my music. I do all of my promotionals, my socials, my videos, my content. Everything is me. And so it's always really nice when somebody else is like, hey, I want to like have you featured on my show, or I want to write an article about you and really get to know you as a person and share your story.
The beginning was really exciting. I feel like I was putting out a lot of reviews, was getting some good feedback. I was getting some good reaction. It seemed like a lot of people wanted to participate in submitting their music for reviews. I was really happy about that. I was struggling with finding ways to maintain relevance. I think that is when I started getting the ideas to expand to doing things like interviews, blind reactions, things that I thought would be beneficial selfishly as an independent artist. The best part of the beginning of 15 Minutes of Fame is that, yes, there were people that, came in, got their review, came out, and I never heard from them again. But there were people that came in, got a review, and they hung around.
I'd read a few reviews that he'd done, and I thought, if anyone's going to get this weird song of mine, it's going to be him.
It's like one thing to get a good review, but to get one that feels like its own piece of art, like, come on, that's another level.
It was really cool to, just kind of be like, you were the focus today. You're who we're talking about today. You're who we have today. And tell us your story. Tell us who you are.
Just as like a new artist, last year I released my first song. Being able to see my work reviewed and talked about like this, it was just kind of life-changing to me.
And that it feels like someone actually has listened to you, has provided their genuine thoughts about your music, and give you feedback and comparisons that feel worthwhile.
It came in a moment where it was really welcome to read it, and it just was a transforming experience, and I'm very grateful for Jeff.
It's been a tough time looking for someone to look at my music, someone to look at it, someone to really look at my music and tell me that, I love this about your song. What I like about Jeff is that he just is he's a very amazing at what he does. He likes to review music. He likes to look at the music, not just from the perspective, but he really looks like the intention of the song.
As an indie artist, it can be really challenging to find ears that will listen deeply when it comes to bloggers and people that write about music. But something different about Jeff is he really gets interested in knowing the person behind the music.
Because the community he's involved with is just really good and really involved. And again, it shows in other stuff. I will go read his reviews on other music, and because of his reviews of other music, I'll go listen to them because I trust him and I know he's being honest.
They came in, they got a review, and they hung around. They started listening to the other artists. They started networking and talking to the other artists. They started referring other artists to me to write reviews. And I don't think I even noticed, but this community really kind of started to take shape. There is no way that I could have come up with an idea to organize this community of musicians like I would have wanted to. But I knew somebody who could.
'Cause you're the disco helmet man, the hip-hop troubadour. With your fingers all afire and your legs are kicking higher, I'm waving still fast of the disco helmet man.
Over the last year and a half, some of the worst and some of the best days I've ever had. I don't have time for the whole story, but music was gone. I was not even a musician. I didn't even feel like I ever was. Built a community on Threads on accident. Just kind of rolled into it. And I wrote a song called Disco Helmet Man. You should see that too, but after we talk about 15 minutes. Hey, could we get some people to be in my video? I ended up getting 50 independent artists from all around the world. One that stands out is Jeff Thomas, 15 Minutes of Fame. Him and his daughter Phoenix recorded a rock out session to Disco Helmet Man. Featured in the video. I'm gonna put it right here after this, so it won't be me pointing at the sky. That started and continued a friendship. Jeff sees how incredible the indie music community is, the indie art community actually as a whole. He sees people as people, real people, not numbers. And Jeff Thomas hears the music. He hears the music and he talks about the music and he puts his heart and soul into supporting. When you get asked to submit for reviews or drop your links below, I'm looking for new music, drop your links below. 75% of that, they're looking to get some cash money, notoriety, some props. Jeff Thomas, this guy's in it for the goods. The good stuff, meaning love of music, love of people, passion, art, calling. Yeah, that's what it's about. Jeff has become one of the biggest supporters of CAN, Collaborative Artist Network, which I myself have sort of dedicated my life to. A place to bring together all these amazing people. A place for us to talk, share, grow, support. Jeff is one of a few people that just reached out and said, hey, let me, I see the value, let me support this by constant interaction, by great content, and by continuing to support the mission, which is supporting indie artists.
I had no idea how 15 Minutes of Fame would be received. I told myself to be skeptical, that maybe I'd connect with a few artists. But hope prevailed. There are 150 artists from 32 states, 20 countries, and 5 continents. Different cultures, different genres. I've met new people, I've made new friends. I even got to interview some of my heroes. It became a home. Then CAN became the street our home was on. A community of artists lifting together. Discovering what a difference we can make. What a difference 15 minutes can make.
You look so pale and awfully skinny. In your eyes a tale too many times I've seen. I want to come by, but you're almost never free. Your beautiful mind is a monster at times that wants to be set free. Out on your path got 'em